Guys, welcome to Bridgeton Investment. So, Nifty could be in a sign of another sell-off, which I will just explain you in another 2 minutes. First of all, I have, my list is almost ready. The main ones which I had doubt, the good, which I have good hope for in the future, are done. You know, which is to devise what you call which is to devise what you call that fundamental analysis, management efficiency, how much return is company giving based on its investment capital, invested capital. Is very crucial that you draw it this way, to determine how well your investments, how much profit your company is generating for every $1 you're investing. So let's get to the main topic of the video. Supreme Court plans ruling for so what happened is Supreme Court has, U.S. Supreme Court has postponed the tariff ruling for July 14. This was published around Jan 9, so 5 days. So Trump has only 3 more days to, to decide to present a tariff, to Supreme Court, that how well your tariff will do to our country, what will impact for, because Supreme Court right now just feel that it's jeopardizing its long-term relationship with the other. It's just jeopardizing its long-term relationship with countries. So that is what Supreme Court wants to know. What is your main intention with all your tariff? What do you intend to do with it? Would it tarnish your relationship, or would it be in a bad state? You know. So Trump has another like 3 days to determine how well your tariff. So this could mean also thing. India is more vulnerable to the 500% tariff from Russia. This is more vulnerable for tariff from Russia, because now tariff India is no longer has that negotiation power, and soon when this news released, Reliance is now in talks to buy US to buy Venezuela oil. This is kind of way in a short term a good news, bad news, because now this puts in because you see here there's no news about tariff side from India US. There's no trade deal happening. Modi is just being quiet. There is no good news. India is losing its negotiation power. There is no good at all coming from. Uh, there's no good news coming at all from India US trade deal. Only thing is there's uncertainty, and market hates when there is, Nifty hates it when there is waiting around. That is why you see insane drawdown. Since it made all time, how much it crashed. Since it made all time high. Since its all time high, it crashed around 2%. 2%, insane crash since then, because there is no news about Indian US trade deal. Market hates uncertainty, and during uncertainty market did the best what it could is to see a sell off. So that is what now US Russia Reliance is in talks. Reliance may be thinking there's nothing going good around India US trade deal. There is no, you know and I don't want to the US has contracts with with the Reliance, with this retail side of business. After O2C business, Reliance get majority of their revenue from this one, what do you call uh, what do you call that it's retail business, because it gets all imported exported products. It imports all of its goods for its inventory for its retail from US. So this also puts in a very huge bad relationship with uh, with you Reliance businesses with US. So in Reliance will be mustang might have to just buy Venezuela oil, keep them in loop now, because we don't want to you to lose our trade deal. India might have Modi might have sorry, let me rephrase. I'm coming back to this again. Modi might have just told Reliance that let's switch to Venezuela oil, because I'm not sure what is happening here. There's no good news around what is happening with India US trade deal. We may lose out on its trade balance. We may lose out on its trade balance, and forex is also. That is why Reliance was the first major to indicate willingness to buy Venezuela oil. I mentioned that earlier. Both India and Reliance are under pressure. Cutting trade ties with in US would hurt trade balance and forex reserve, like I just meant. But shifting away from Russian oil puts relationship with Russia. If Reliance move forwards with Venezuela oil, it eventually had to reduce its dependence on those not unlocked Lukoil, which is two of his biggest supplier of uh, uh, Russia. If you don't know, Reliance gets, India especially get discounted oil from Russia and refine it in their own factory and sell it to other countries. This would losing access to heavily discount uh, crude oil and renegotiating terms with Venezuela oil. Now they have to get access to Venezuela, which is good in a way. Venezuela oil is much cheaper compared to the Russian oil. That is why US attacked Russian oil. US attacked Venezuela oil to get more access to his cheap oils and sell it in US dollar compared to what it sells. It refines it in its own US country and sells it with higher production cost. Now they can sell it in a US dollars in much more cheaper way. So that is what is happening with right now with so we will see whether Russia would move forward, because Reliance is also under heavy pressure, because Reliance also has majority of its business with US, and India is also pressure because there's no because they don't want to affect the trade balances with India. India. They don't want to lose US. India doesn't want to lose trade balance with the US. They don't want to lose a lot of good new things from India. So forex. India doesn't want to lose its forex reserve with US. So that is why it's happening. So it's very I say good news, kind of bad news, because now India gets access to cheaper oil than Russia, but also at an expense that with Venezuela, also at the expense of cheap discounted oil. My views on Nifty. Nifty has been an insane sell-off this week, largely due to the lack of any concrete US trade deal progress. Because of this uncertainty, dollar dynamics, India losing negotiation power are clearly becoming visible. I don't expect a vertical fall from here. In fact, Nifty may attempt a pullback and face resistance around. I reduced my resistance a bit. Could face a resistance around here and second resistance. So we could see a good upside here and second resistance here, and we could see a sell off, because this news is. Very bad. This news is like very bad. But overall, when you see in the longer time frame, there's far more suspicion that Nifty could be an insane sell-off again. Around 24K. But this would be a perfect range to accumulate. I can start accumulating Reliance again. So we have to go on an accumulation mode, which is good, but I'm tired of buying the dip now, man. Seriously. So that's all is my news from today. So what I'm expecting from market. So please like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.